All right, we're back. Episode 3.
We are back, and I think we're both in different locations. I made it back. I made it back home to Texas, and so I'm back in my normal setup. Where are you?
I'm in the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been in different spots every episode, I feel like. So I don't know. It might be hard to keep this up.
Actually
We're
true.
gonna have to keep traveling.
Yeah. So what's in the Outer Banks? This is not a part of the country I'm familiar with.
So this is my first time here. I've never been here before. It's really great. It's we normally go to Martha's Vineyard kind of almost every year, and this year my family was going down here, so my brother and my cousin, we decided to tag along with them. So we're all here. It's great, like beach right on the ocean, or beach on the ocean, house on the ocean. Ice cream and a bunch of kids running around, and this huge house with the pool and the beach and a million rooms and everything.
Is the beach on the ocean, or is the beach in town? Hopefully the beach is also on the ocean.
It's on the ocean.
Okay, good.
Although we have this hurricane, I guess, coming or something. I don't know. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to hit us, but I think it's going to be like 50-mile-an-hour winds and things like that. So
yeah, I think I just saw that this morning. So now, is the weather there? Is it 108 like it is in Dallas, or is it okay?
No, it's all right. It's been in the 80s, so it's been good beach weather. It's been warm and very humid, so kids have been wanting to get in the water and all that. That's been good. Then hit the pool. I've never really had a setup quite like this before. It's nice because we have like the beach, obviously, out there, and then you come in from the beach, and there's the pool and the house. So like, you start at the beach, and then you hit the pool to kind of like fully cleanse and refresh, and then boom, you're in the house hanging out. There's like the theater room. I watched Messi in here the other night. I'll be watching Messi in here tonight again.
Amazing.
So, it's really cool.
Okay, so I have opinions about the beach and the pool.
Interesting.
The beach is kind of frustrating to me because the way that I've always done it is you pack up all your stuff, you schlep it out there onto the beach. It's 100 degrees. You're covered in sand. You get out there, and then you're expected to just sit there in the salt and the sun for hours, and then you got to walk all the way back to the house for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
I love the pool. I love going to the beach and sitting in a pool. That is my absolute favorite. You can wander outside, hop in the pool, wander back inside. I don't like packing it up and walking down the boardwalk. Does that make me an old man or just lazy, or what does that say?
No, but let me tell you, I used to be like you, but I discovered the secrets of the beach, and I will share with the audience the secrets of the beach, okay? So this is actually why we ended up going to Martha's Vineyard when the kids were little, and for like 10 years or so. Because one of the big keys to the beach, so like the dragging your stuff to the beach, forget it. It's the worst thing ever, especially once you have kids.
Forget it.
Kids, all the stuff, the kids are running around. The whole thing's terrible. It's like you're just suicidal after you just walk to the beach. You're like, that's it. So you can't do that. Don't ever do that. You got to buy a truck, okay? You have a truck. All right. And,
this is a low barrier to entry. You got to buy a truck.
Listen,
okay. Keep going.
This is America. Everybody uses their trucks as like minivans.
Okay,
it's fine.
Okay,
you have a truck.
Sure. Keep going.
You could also do.
I thought it was going to be like pack an extra sandwich or something, but buy a truck. All right, keep going.
Buy a truck. All right, truck is best. You could use SUV or even a minivan with 4-wheel drive, but truck is best for a lot of reasons, which I can tell you about. You get a truck. You find a beach that lets you drive on the beach. Okay. This is the solution to all your problems.
I see where this is going.
Yes, because so everything's in the back of the truck, right?
Yeah.
You drive to the beach. You don't have to stay near the water. So if you want to save money, if it's like beach vacation can be quite expensive if you want to be on the water, right? So forget that. You stay inland.
Just buy a truck. Yeah.
You buy a truck with your savings. You drive onto the beach. Okay. You park your truck an inch from the water. You push all the stuff out the back. It's there. You didn't carry anything. You have a huge-ass cooler with tons of food. If you have little kids, all right, it's going to get gross for a second, but you have a little portable potty that's got the little Ziploc baggy thing. They can go to the bathroom right there. You don't have to take them to the bathroom back anywhere. Yeah. And when they're done, you pile everything into the truck. It takes 2 seconds. You drive off the beach. Most of the drive on beaches, you usually end up with a huge area of beach all to yourself.
Yeah,
it's the best thing ever. It's fabulous.
Okay,
so that's my recommendation.
Okay, one fatal flaw is you have to buy a new vehicle, but other than that, it's flawless. I guess if you're flying, you could rent a truck when you get there.
All
so
these places
that's
have
something.
rental Jeeps and trucks and things like that, so you could rent it. And then hey, a lot of people now they just have. I mean, you're in Texas. You told me there's no trucks down there. Everybody's got a truck.
Oh, everybody's got a truck. Yeah, everybody's got a truck. I could borrow a truck from anyone around here. So here's something I saw on Twitter that kind of blew my mind. You're on this trip and you're like, hey, I'm going to go to this amazing little roadside restaurant that nobody's ever heard of. It's called a Waffle House. I've never been before. What? You've never been to a Waffle House?
I've been to a Waffle House. This has been on my list of things to do for a very long time. I don't know if I've ever even seen a Waffle House. It's crazy.
What?
Like, I know. It's not even like I've been avoiding them. I don't even believe I've had the opportunity, because usually I would take the opportunity at a thing like that. I've been waiting for it forever, because it's like Waffle House.
Do they not have them? Do they not have them in the north?
Northeast
Really?
has no Waffle Houses that I've ever seen. So, yeah, Waffle House.
What did
I
you
was
think?
very impressed. So I'm the day I tweeted that, you said you had gone there for breakfast. So there you go. It's like
for breakfast. Yeah.
it's a regular staple, but it was great.
It really
there's no
is.
vegetables. There's waffles, and that's it. And sandwiches
No vegetables,
and hash
waffles.
browns.
Put it on my tombstone, which
Yeah.
unfortunately may be coming soon if I keep going to Waffle House. But yeah,
it was good.
It's like an American classic.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I was surprised.
Waffle House is everywhere down here.
Right.
They also weirdly never close. And
Right,
they have, I don't know if they have a super robust supply chain or what, but there's a way that you can measure how bad a natural disaster is, and it's called the Waffle House Index. And it's how quickly did Waffle House reopen / did they ever close? It's very interesting. I don't know the full details, but Waffle Houses are everywhere down here. I went on, I guess that would have been Friday for breakfast. So every 3 weeks we have this group of guys that gets together and goes to breakfast. It's the only time everyone is available is 7 a.m. on Friday morning. So there are probably 8 of us in this group, and yeah, it's awesome. And
Real world.
we usually go to this place called John's Cafe, which is terrible. But when there are 5 or fewer of us that RSVP yes, we go to Waffle House, because Waffle House has those tables that you cannot move that only seat 4 people. Yeah.
Yes.
And so we'll go to Waffle House, and the food is incredible. It is it's the dirtiest, dineriest place you've ever been, but the food is amazing. And they you ask for eggs soft scrambled, and they make eggs soft scrambled. They know how to make eggs. It's great. I love Waffle House.
Well, I love those places. See that it's and I'm sure this goes into that index. Is there's basically 10 ingredients on the whole menu. It's just the same things, just ordered differently, and so they probably have an easy time reopening, and they only have to know how to do a few things. You can get a chef. It's not like they're making a bunch of a regular in the Northeast. We have tons of regular diners, and it's just they have 400 items. There's pot roast and eggs and whatever, sandwiches and pasta and whatever. It does all these different things, and usually it's all gross. And I want us to get Waffle Houses. I need the other thing. So I need Waffle Houses. These are my big things from the South. I need Waffle Houses, and I need brew-throughs. Do you have a brew-through there?
A brew-through. I think I know what that is, but I don't know if that's a brand name. That's not something we say down here.
Okay, it's like a car wash.
Okay.
All right, like a drive-through car wash, but when you drive through it, instead of your car getting washed, there's just refrigerators along the side where you get beer.
Yeah.
And you just drive through. It's unbelievable. I'm what genius thought of this? I don't know why we don't have these in the Northeast. Just drive through and get your beer.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was something that wasn't everywhere. Yeah, we have, I think we call them, in Texas, we have a few beer barns, drive-through beer barns. Yeah. And then I do remember so I went to college at Texas A&M, which is down in, College Station, small town. Mm-hmm. We had a drive-through margarita barn. And so they would, so you could drive through and get all kinds of different margaritas. And for the dear listener, you would not drink them until you got home, obviously, because they would put tape over the lid, and you couldn't open it. It was impossible. There was a little piece of tape on it. And it's I guess I'll have to wait until I get home to open it.
You need scissors.
You need scissors, yeah. So, yeah, that's funny, yeah. Waffle House and beer barns and a truck on every corner. That's
Right.
You got it. That's the South.
There
Good
we go.
To be back, baby. I love being home.
I know. I don't get down to like this part, like south that much. Like it's only every few years. Like I sometimes end up in Florida or a place like that, which is sort of its own weird thing. I don't know.
It is its own weird thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't put that. Don't ascribe that to us. I don't want Florida.
Right. It doesn't feel like North Carolina, Virginia type South to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems different. So, yeah, it's been great. How was your drive back? Because you were making the long haul there.
I was, yeah. Made the long haul. Made it back. Listened to book 2 of the 3 Body Problem trilogy. The entire way. Incredible. It's so good.
I'm excited.
It is unlike any sci-fi book I've ever read. So it's very, very good. And the second book has this like I don't know, maybe literary device that is extremely. It keeps your mind spinning the entire time of like, what would I do in this situation? It's like almost like a logic puzzle that the characters are playing through, and it's very good. So highly recommended. I made 2 stops. I stopped in Cleveland again, and then I stopped in Little Rock, Arkansas, about 4.5 hours from home. I thought I could power through, but man, when you're driving and the sleepies hit, you don't want to battle the sleepies on the road because it takes 2 seconds and you're gone.
Yeah, 4 hours it's a pretty good haul to power through.
Yeah,
extreme tiredness. Yeah, that's a good stop. And you didn't have the kids and stuff with you, so it's like whatever, just pop in and it's easy.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm back, feeling much better, being home in my space, with a little bit of routine. Kids start school, I think, maybe next week, and life is going to be totally different.
This has been, like, the worst summer ever in terms of, like, I had all these plans for things I was going to do this summer, and just, like, the kids had so many activities. It was just constant running around between 3 kids and only 2 adults, and we're both every day like dropping somebody off, picking somebody up, or it was brutal. And it's just so distracting, obviously, then when you're just taken out of your zone. Like one of the kids for every other day for like 3 weeks had a 2-hour camp that was like noon to 2 or something.
That is
just, like,
not enough.
Crazy stuff.
2 hours is not enough.
It's crazy.
Like you barely make it home before you have to go back.
Exactly. So my whole summer just totally blew up on my productivity that I was expecting, but that's all right. We'll get everybody back in school and get back to the normal grind, which will be nice.
Yeah, exactly. You want to do some follow-ups? We have a few.
Yeah, let's do some follow-up. All right. Well, the first one is immediately after the last episode, Nuno wrote back that in Volt, you can actually put the blade template on the top of the file. So if you haven't seen Volt, it's a single-page Livewire blade file combo package. And so you can put the blade file on top and then the PHP Livewire logic on the bottom, which also then lets you get rid of the PHP tag then. So because you don't need the ending PHP tag, you start the PHP tag after the blade template. I don't know. What do you think about this? I tried it out. I wasn't sure. I don't know. I think I like it, but
I love it because that's the way that I do my Vue single file components.
Yeah.
Is I would always put the template tag at the top and the script tag at the bottom. And now people are coming into my space and telling me I got to do script setup and I got to put script setup and do the composition API. And nah, man, I put the template at the top, the script at the bottom. So this for Volt, this feels good to me.
Yeah, people seem very excited about that tweet. So if you don't know about that and you've been trying out Volt, give that a shot and see how you like it. All right, we have another one, right?
Yep, we got another one. On the first episode, we talked about how Tobias's indexing book, his landing page, was really, really beautiful. And turns out it's the same designer that has done all the new Filament stuff. And I think he's full-time on the Filament team now. His name is Hassan Zaharina. Close. I definitely know it's Hassan. We'll put the link to his website in the show notes. But he's done the sushi landing page, which is Caleb Porzio's array driver for Eloquent. He's done Tobias's indexing book. He's done Filament. So he's done all kinds of great stuff. And I've seen him around the community a lot. I just didn't know that he did Tobias's book. So I wanted to follow up with that and give him a shout out for that.
Yeah, his work's really interesting. I like it's kind of fresh and different. And I always like having designers
fresh, right?
in the mix, new designers in the mix, designers in the Laravel sort of family and sphere is always good to have. And yeah, the sushi page stands out a lot for sure. And
I feel like his design, his design is a little bit like it's a little bit more fun and lively. It's a little bit bubbly, and it's really, really good. I just love that everyone has a different, like this is very different than like the stuff that the Tailwind Labs team puts out. And I like that.
Right.
Like, they're both good, but I like that this is a little bit more fun and bubbly.
Yeah, a little different. The colors too are definitely kind of not your standard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's hot lately of it's black and white or it's you know
BG blue to BG purple gradient. Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like so a little different there.
So if as a reminder, if you want to get shouted out to upwards of 15 to 20 people, send us mail. We have mailbag.
Hey.
We will read it out on the air. So I forget where to send it, so I'm going to throw it over to Ian. Where do people send their mail?
mostlytechnicalpod@gmail.com.
Oh, good.
I believe.
I put you on the
Pretty
spot.
sure?
That was perfect. Yeah. Pretty sure.
That's true. I'm pretty sure.
Also
it'll be in the
Twitter.
show notes for sure.
It'll be in the
so
show notes for sure.
Check there just in case, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yeah, that sounds right. So thanks for those
We'll get
follow-ups.
this down.
Yeah. All right, where do you want to go next?
Well, we'll go into Laravel stuff a little bit earlier. How about that? This way we get some under our belt. Yeah. Something different. We got this lift package.
Yeah. So I saw this. Tell me what it is, and then tell me your opinions on it.
Hold on. Let me just you get to watch us run the show here. Because I want to have it up in front of me. Why is this not working? This vacation podcasting is not ideal.
So we're talking Wendell Adriel's Laravel
That's what
lift.
I'm looking for. See, you got the name. I wanted his last name. I knew it's Wendell. I was thinking about it as Wendell, but not.
You didn't know it was Wendell. I knew it was Wendell.
I knew it was Wendell.
You're over there fumbling in the messy room. You don't know anything. Okay. You have it. So, you have the GitHub pulled up.
I've got it. So yeah. So okay. Wendell's package. Wendell, just a great name, by the way. I don't think I've ever met a Wendell in person, but I love that name.
Congrats, Wendell. Great name.
Yeah. He hit the lottery of the naming.
Seriously.
Parents did a good job there. Yeah, so Lyft is this kind of crazy package that lets you define a whole bunch of stuff about eloquent models with attributes. And I just have a lot of thoughts here. But a lot of thoughts. But first, before we even get into the package, what's your just general take on attributes?
Yeah, see,
in PHP?
This is where we're going to end up. You know, Ian, I don't love them. I really don't.
Yeah, that was my take initially as well.
Wow, this is a setup for conflict. That makes good radio. So here's the thing. One, I'm not familiar with them, and so I'm super aware that what looks good to me is 70% what I'm familiar with. And that's I think that's everybody. And so I'm looking at all of these attributes. Even back in the day for a hot minute there was, let's do all of our routing by putting little attributes over the controller methods. And I was like, no way.
Yeah.
I hate that.
No, I don't.
Hideous.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah. So hated that. Attributes in general still seem foreign to me, and I think part of what I don't like about it is it feels like it feels like you scatter one thing that used to be centralized into a bunch of different places. Like the routing is a good example. I like to have a routes file. I don't want to have my route definitions littered all over the place. And I also, maybe this is a knowledge gap, I don't fully know how they work and what all can be influenced. And I don't think I would remember to check oh, you got to go check the annotation or the attribute or whatever. And so I don't know. And you can like pass arguments, and so then you're like, I don't know. Okay, yeah. I'll stop there. Tell me your journey with attributes.
Well, I haven't had like the full journey yet, I guess, but I definitely didn't like when people were trying to do it with the annotations and like it's like a comment that has all the stuff in it. Like I hate the comments with the stuff in it. I don't want comments at all, and I don't want comments with stuff in it.
The PHP doc blocks, that version?
Yeah, like I don't like doc blocks in general, and I don't like. I mean, at some point there was something you could do in there, right? And like the IDE would like do certain stuff with it or whatever. It was like even like type management and stuff like that, which obviously is a common use case. But I just hate that. I don't like the syntax. It's such a big like eyesore in your way of reading the code. So I definitely prefer this over those. But I agree. Like when I first saw attributes in general, I was like, I don't know. But here and there's been more use cases. Like Livewire uses them pretty heavily in Livewire 3. A lot of the Spatty packages use them now in different ways, and I'm kind of seeing it. I mean, there's definitely the big limitation is that you can't like do anything dynamic in them, and that does sometimes cause some oddities. Where like with translation strings and things like that, where like you need to be able to do something dynamically. So there are some like even in this package, like if you use it for a rule and you pass a string, like you can't translate that string. So if you want to override like the rules message, you have no way to translate it. Which is semi-edge case, but there's a fair amount of apps that are translated. So there is stuff like that. But I don't know, for Eloquent, I do kind of feel like this is pretty interesting because it's like instead of looking 3 or 4 or 5 places in the file for different configurations, I can just see them all here, and they're like, so it's sort of like in that way like a routes file. It's like I can just go to this one place and see everything applied to the name instead of going to like the different methods that do the relationship and then do the type and like whatever, do the rule.
Okay, so give us a 2-second overview of what's happening in this package so people know.
Yeah, so in the package, a lot of the stuff you can define in Eloquent already through like methods or different ways like that. You can, or like in properties like the fillable property and things like that. You can just do as attributes right next to the public property. So you can just have that it's fillable. It's like a fillable attribute. And then there's a cast attribute if you want to cast it. So you don't have to put this name property in the fillable array and then again in the cast thing. And then if you have a relationship based on it, that can be defined here. So you can have all these things in one spot. You can have your validation rules there. So you don't have like the separate rules array and all that. So it's interesting. I haven't even used it yet. I've just been sort of following along, and every day he's kind of adding new attributes. But I feel like there's something here. I wouldn't mind. There's like a technique I like to call something being Otwelled. I wouldn't mind it maybe being Otwelled by the man himself because, he always has a great vision on interfaces and APIs and things. And so there's probably some stuff he might be able to do here. But I don't know. I feel like there is something here because that is always one of the things that in a big Eloquent file it does get a little bit annoying. That it's like, okay, I have this, property I need to like check in 10 places like where all it's doing and whatnot, and so I don't know, having this one place to have everything defined about it is kind of intriguing, but you're not buying it yet.
I'm not sold, and the only reason I'm not sold is truly because of my distaste on the strong side and not being familiar on the kind side of annotations or whatever they're called. So one thing I do like is that we're still exploring. Like I love that Wendell did this because there can be, I think sometimes like a sense that Laravel is almost complete and we're lucky for that. But this is a good like, hey, I've got an opinion and the opinion is, I want to use annotations. And I think I'm going to try to pull it off. Love that. Absolutely love that. I'm not yet sold on the language feature yet, and so that makes this package be something that I look at and I'm like, I don't want to do that. This kind of the same way I feel about super strong types. Like if somebody were to tell me, oh, you could add this package, you could, use PHP stand level 9 and get super strict typing. It's like, I don't really want to do that. I'm not super interested in that. But I do like anything in the eloquent space, and I do like that we're still trying to push the ball forward. But yeah, I can see people are really going to like this, especially people that like annotation. Are they annotations or attributes? What are they actually called?
Am I calling them annotations? Maybe I think
I was calling them attributes,
yes.
but I think they're annotations.
No,
is it the other way around?
Yeah, it's attributes. I think we got ourselves mixed up there in the beginning, but it's attributes, yes.
Yeah, that's confusing.
Yeah. Well, it's so new. We don't even know what to call these.
We don't. Yeah, exactly. How am I supposed
it's so
to like
new.
something?
It's like 3 years old, but we don't know what to call it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the attributes. So the other thing that with this kind of package, always I'm a little cautious, is because it's really messing with something that's deep baked into the core, and that a lot of things expect to work a certain way, and who knows if in some edge case somewhere it doesn't work that certain way, and you don't discover that for quite a while until you hit the weirdo edge case where it actually doesn't load up properly or whatever. So
yeah, that's one of the tough parts about this.
Yeah, I haven't looked into how it works like internally, so I have no idea if there's anything like that. But that is just an area where I do get a little cautious. Not one of these packages that's like its own thing and whatever. It's it'll be clear if it's working or not because it just adds a feature. This is a little different where everything's going through this thing, and so it's a little scarier. But yeah.
Also, one of the tough spots for me is putting the rules in the model itself. Because I think that's good a lot of the times, but then rules can be context dependent. And so I've always, this package aside, I've always had a hard time centralizing the rules into the model.
I'm just going to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's like...
Just in general.
Well,
what do you do? What do you do? What do you like to do with the rules?
Man, I don't know.
This is like the eternal
it's the
struggle.
Worst. Yeah,
yes.
So... The problem is, and I've tried centralizing it before, and basically like making my own kind of like rules object thing.
Right.
It just doesn't work. So here's the problem. Here's the problem as I see it. You've got HTTP coming in, and the rules could be different based on permissions or the state that the model is in, all kinds of things, right? And that's just HTTP. Then you've got command line tools that you're like working with, where you can, as the super admin or whatever, you go in and you're like, I need to process these 50 customers. I'm just going to run this command line tool. And then you've got like background jobs. You've got all these places that can touch a model, and every situation is so different that the rules are necessarily different. And while it's good to say like the name is always required, like that may be the only one that is always true, and I don't want to put that somewhere and then these other rules somewhere else. And so I feel like I end up recreating the rules just to have safety that I'm validating the right thing at the right time. I don't know the better way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like like I've been playing around with the DTOs and things like that because like they let you validate, but there is still these scenarios where like the data is different on create versus update, and then you have like something that's optional sometimes, and then sometimes that gets weird with the DTO, and like so then you have these like classes for optional like in the spotty package, and you have like you have all this like type hinting that's going on, and multiple type hints, and like so it's just like I don't know. I want it to be like that. I want it to be here's the central location, all the magic's here. I don't have to worry about it. But then in practice, this is a big thing too. I feel like that if haven't built a real app, or I just feel like when you have real apps that customers use, there's just all these things that you have to do that are not perfect, and you have to duplicate code sometimes or things like that because ultimately, like the app just has to work a certain way, and the nice way that the framework or the package or whatever would want you to do it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so it just ends up being more complicated, or you do a bunch of weird stuff to make it work. But now as all these edge cases are created, or like just more complexity of figuring out what's even going on versus if you just had a rules array in two different spots that was basically the same except for, one or two differences or whatnot. So
yeah, I feel like that's why we don't have it as a first party primitive. Like,
right.
Laravel has given us the powerful validator and the rules and the form requests, and Laravel has given us all of that. And I feel like the reason we don't have validation built into the Eloquent model is for that exact reason. It's because it's too hard. Like there are too many different ways that you might want to update a model in too many different scenarios that having a static rules array just isn't viable in a real application.
Yeah. This is another thing I've been thinking about lately is, I don't know, I'll be interested to get your take on it. I feel like every time I stray away from the, so this is kind of even somewhat counter to what we were just saying, but every time I stray away from the Eloquent model as sort of the core of logic, so to speak. I don't know how to describe this, but if like even with messing with the DTOs and things like that, it just gets like so much more complicated, and the benefits, I feel like I always see them in the abstract. Like I'm reading about something, I'm like, oh, this would be amazing. And then you try to implement it and you're like, oh yeah, but this thing and the other thing, and it doesn't work in this scenario and all those things. And I'm like, oh, I should have just like stuck with like calling the Eloquent model like create in this controller and everything would have been fine. But instead I got fancy and now it's like taking me 3 extra days and I don't even know what's going on.
Now I'm wrapped around the axle of misdirection, and I am an Eloquent / active record maximalist. As much as I can do, give me a super fat model with methods for everything, and I'm a happy man. So I feel the same way. I will say that like I try to stick to the conventions elsewhere. Like form requests are a good example because you can validate those, get all your correct data out, and then throw it into an Eloquent model. But the whole, I feel like, I don't want to open this can of worms, but like event sourcing is one of them where it's like,
that's even like the next level.
Man, what am I doing? And maybe we can have Daniel on at some point to argue with us, Daniel Colborn, and he'll tell me why it's good. But that's one of those things where I'm like, man, I'm just gonna do my model thing. So I feel the same way.
One thing I have sort of taken in and use a lot now is actions, like the action pattern. I do like that a lot. Yeah, like
somebody
there's a Laravel action package that works really good.
If I used actions, and I said that I haven't, but I wish I had in certain cases. So tell me what you're using them for. Yeah,
so I love the actions because it's pretty much just like calling the active record, create or whatever you're trying to do. It's just like one little step of abstraction from that. And then in a real world app, I find that it's quite useful because so the action is just like a PHP class for people who don't know. If you use the Laravel actions package, it does some nice like helpers and stuff for you. So I would recommend that. I've used that quite a bit. I don't use that. That thing goes a little crazy and starts to get a little too much for me. Like you can just take this action and have it be your whole controller. You can take this action and have it be your whole job and things like that. So that I actually don't use those parts because it starts to get like in the super magical territory. I just use it as an action. And so basically you just call this class, like where you would call like post create or whatever, you might just have like a create post action. And so you call that and you can just pass in your validated data or whatever. And so what I like about that though is it gives you this nice central spot for if you have other business logic, which in like a real world app you tend to. And so it's like, well, when I do this, I also have to like just do this other thing, right? And so instead of having to duplicate that in the multiple places of, yes, I have it in this controller and I have it in another controller and I have a command line thing that does it and there's a webhook that's in a different controller and whatever. So you can just have the action that you call everywhere. You pass it the data. So that's centralized. If you have other stuff to do, maybe you have to like fire an event or whatever. You don't have to duplicate all that code everywhere. So it just gives you that one step back, but it's not complicated. Like you can just go into that. It's very clear. Usually they're very short and it's super testable. Like it's like this is this one function. I can just easily write tests for it. And the package also has nice helpers for that. You don't need to use a package. Like you can literally just build a PHP class and do this, but the package does have some niceties like test helpers and things, which are really great. And so I really like the actions. That is one that stuck with me because it's pretty much like active recordy, really, but just with a little more abstraction, so you can shove some other stuff in there.
it's like a new first class citizen that you can then centralize some stuff in. And the thing that I've always like, I think this Laravel Actions package, which is very thorough and very good, I don't think that was around back when I was doing this app that needs it. And the place that I think I need it is like when I do the same thing in multiple places, like just like we were talking about with the rules array, I'm doing the same thing, whether it's like an internal customer service person is creating a property, as you know, a home, an address is creating a property. I'm bulk importing, 500 properties. We're creating a property via webhook. We're creating a property via background job. All of those things are like creating a property record. And I ended up having to be like, I got to make sure that I do the right thing 4 different places. And it's like, this would be good to centralize. So yeah, I do like the concept of actions.
Yeah, it's really nice for that. It's like that's the perfect use case. Just like, yep, I'm going to create it, but then I'm going to fire this event and I'm going to send an email, and I want those 3 things to happen every single time I create this record. And you just always know that those things are happening. And and you can test it and all that. So those I really like. It's just so nice and clean and organized and all that. But but I agree. Besides that, these other higher level things, and this is probably, I mean, I don't know, maybe this is like both of us have this kind of background of coming from the less formal side of computer science. So I do think there's something to that too. Although I definitely know a lot of people who learned on their own and are definitely more into these type of more advanced patterns and things. But I don't know. I tend to be very practical in nature in these things and just be like, okay, this is clean and easy to understand and somebody else can understand it. If I have to throw some random person in there, right, it's not going to take them too long to learn a whole new pattern and all this stuff that has all these different rules and things. It's like, nope, here's a PHP class and it does a couple things. I get that part already. And we're good.
It's called create post. You can figure out what it does.
Exactly. It's straightforward.
All right. Well, good package, Wendell. I look forward to seeing how that will develop.
All right. What's next on the list here?
You want to talk YouTube?
Yeah, sure.
PHP doesn't suck anymore?
It doesn't. We know that for sure. We're here to look at that's the short version of the video.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. So I made a video.
Yeah,
I made a video and it covered like yeah, right.
I just saw your views on it.
You just opened it, yeah. It covered some of the changes from 2012 to now. And I picked 2012 because it's like a long time ago and 5.4 ish era. And I just ran through like, hey, did you guys know that we have traits and we have types and we have enums and we have generators, that kind of stuff. It's funny because I thought it was good. Like I thought it was a good video. Yeah. And I thought, some people will be interested. I think the title did a lot of work for me there because I think I got people that were mad that I said that PHP doesn't suck anymore. And I think I got people that were mad that I suggested that PHP ever sucked.
Right.
And so like I got the people who were on sides. My team and the people that were haters. I got them all to come and comment and everything. So I think I got lucky with that title there. But yeah, 100,000 views.
So congratulations.
Isn't that the craziest thing you've ever heard?
Upvotes. Like that's an incredible amount of upvotes. Like
it's crazy.
I feel like that percentage is unusual for like 5-6% of the viewers to vote at all. Seems unusually high to me.
I can see
which is great.
Like, it's 98% thumbs up, so 5,700 likes and 98% upvotes versus down.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
That's incredible. Yeah, and I thought the video was so good because it was just like just jumped into every single thing that's changed, all the big stuff. And it's like, boom, here's 15 seconds on this. Here's 15 seconds on this. And just kept the pace going really nice.
Yeah, I'm really trying to find like the ideal YouTube format because it is very different than like a lot of the work I've done historically has been long form educational, right? So I'll do a Laracast course or teach accounting or teach databases. And it's like, I know that I have you for a couple hours, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. YouTube,
Right.
you're fighting people clicking away or closing.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find that format. But this one worked.
This also seems like one of these great ones that you could like break this up and throw it on Instagram and all the other like or
that's a
and
great
YouTube
idea.
Shorts and whatever, right? Like here's
Yeah.
like 15 seconds, like just create some new little intro that's like a 2-second intro, and it's like boom, here's another thing about
that's
why
a great
PHP doesn't
idea.
suck. We use all this. Holy cow! It has 1,100 comments.
Oh, dude.
That's insane.
So many comments.
I
And
know,
then
what do you?
fully half of them are like, "Oh, PHP still sucks." I'm like, "Come on."
Well, that's
I don't
YouTube,
care.
man. Like,
I don't care if you think that, but be more like I'm not offended as a PHP developer. I'm offended as a terminally online commenter. Like, make a better comment. This comment is stupid.
Sucks.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
I think that is kind of a known issue with the YouTube comments. Unfortunately, I think the ratio of quality comments to crap is not ideal.
I do let my spice come through a little bit more in YouTube comments. Like, on
I think it's fair.
You know, on Twitter, especially on Twitter main, and mostly in Twitter replies, I'm like trying to be very gracious and kind to people. On YouTube, when they bring in the barbs, I barb them right back, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to be spicy over there.
Sort of like a private area down there, you know. It's like you're down in the trenches in there, right? Yeah, exactly. I also love that in this video about PHP and technology and code, like the number one. I guess you pinned it, but it's like funny that it's pinned that the comment about the movie Looper is kind of top here. It's so funny.
I did a little review of what was happening in 2012, and the movie Looper was in theaters, and I was like, "This is a good movie." And a lot of people commented and said they can't trust me because I thought Looper was good. So
I am definitely on the side of like PHP was never bad. Like it's kind of funny because as you were going through there, I'm like, all this stuff is really cool, and for people who are need these things, whatever, it's great. But I was like, the old way, like I'm like 95%. I was like, the old way, that was fine. Like I kind of like the way it was before too. Like that worked for me.
That's my secret is I never thought it sucked either, and I still don't use a lot of the features that I talked about, like annotations or attributes and all this strict typing and stuff. It's like I don't really care about that, and I love the PHP of yesteryear. This is another thing. Like this video is not for like my traditional audience on Twitter. Like my audience on Twitter is Laravel developers. This is basically an outreach video. And I feel like the audience on YouTube is so much bigger, and the algorithm does so much work on your behalf that it doesn't really matter who is directly following you. You're making a video for kind of the masses. And so it is a little different for me, because I'm thinking like, I'm talking to all of our friends, and like, why would I make a video like this for all of our friends? But it's YouTube. It's not for our friends. So it's been interesting.
I had a discussion with somebody kind of recently about this idea too, and I think that is like one of the keys of YouTube. Like the point of being on there in some ways is to reach this new group of people who are not on traditional Laravel tech, PHP channels of Twitter. It's like, just everything. That silo is only a certain size, and then obviously Twitter decides its own issues on top of all that. So it's like the YouTube is so much bigger than Twitter, way bigger. And the algorithm is, I think, pretty good at surfacing stuff. Well, I mean, sometimes we're bad, but like overall, like I think it actually does a pretty good job of like surfacing things people are interested in. And so, this gives you that opportunity to reach out to other types of developers, or unbelievably the PHP developers who are not, on Twitter following Taylor and Laravel. Like, if you can believe there are people out there like that.
I know. I know.
It is remarkable,
that is crazy to me that there's a whole set of the community, the PHP community, that like is not on Twitter at all talking about, Folio and Volt all day long. They're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, man. Yeah, and it's crazy.
I see this a lot in, I mean, this isn't even a great example, but on Lara jobs, we see it a lot. It's like, there's companies posting that are not like in the Laravel circle, and that's very Laravel, obviously specific. It's Lara jobs. But that's like one of the areas I'm trying to do more of, even with Lara jobs, is like reach out to other segments of the PHP world, since it's really like a PHP job board essentially. And because it's just this huge world of PHP. It's like when I look at other job boards, even the more general ones, like a dice.com or whatever, and there's like all these companies posting, Laravel jobs even who are like do nothing in the Laravel world, like Disney or whatever. Like Disney hasn't sponsored Laracon or they've never posted a job on Larajobs, but they have like 10 jobs on dice.com for Laravel developers. Yep. This is like whole world of PHP and Laravel that's people just going to work every day and doing their job and leaving, and they're not, that closely following what's going on necessarily in the kind of more close-knit community that
just
we tend to operate
doing their job
in.
and going home.
Yeah.
They're not
Can you
wired
believe
in.
It? That's crazy. They're not checking Twitter 24 hours a day for the latest updates.
Happy. It couldn't be me. No way.
No way. I don't want any part of that.
No way. The video also got it got reacted to. Did you see this?
No, I don't think I saw this.
There's a popular YouTuber / Twitch streamer called the Primogen. And he did a react video where he watches my video on stream and reacts to it. And I'm like, I'm so many levels deep into YouTube culture now that he's doing that.
Great. Yeah.
So my video got 100,000 views. His video got 100,000 views.
Wow. So your video's kind of been seen 200,000 times right there.
That's what I'm saying. So it was really, really good. So Primogen has a very strong personality and a very strong brand. And that turns a lot of people off, but he is an absolute, he is a wonderful, wonderful person. And we actually DM'd before he did the React video, because I feel like some people seeing that would be like, I can't believe this guy just watched your video and put himself in the corner and, claim that as his own content. One, that's not what he did. He's one of the smartest people that I've seen on YouTube. And two, he asked me beforehand. And honestly, he was doing me a favor, because he's got 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. And then he's got 100,000 followers on Twitter, and he's tweeting about my video. And it was like a whole day of just feeling like, what is happening? Because, I record these videos and then it takes me forever to edit. And then I finally upload it and I've already lost all the oh, this is a great video. It's like, oh, I got to get this freaking thing off my plate.
I'm sick
and then
of
it
this
does
thing.
well. And it's like, this is so
awesome.
cool.
It's so great.
That was
a
fun week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's doing there, he's adding a lot of value. So he's not just reposting your video. He's adding to it for his audience and what they want to see, and adding kind of value there. So
he's really good. One of the things he's really good at is he knows so many languages. He's an engineer at Netflix, and so he's worked in a bunch of different places. He knows so many languages that he can look at all these things that I'm running through, and he's like, oh, this is kind of how C# does it. Oh, well, in JavaScript, it's done this way, and I hate that, and I really like that PHP does this. And he can compare it across a whole bunch of languages where I just can't do that. I've never worked in C#. I don't know what C# is.
So is he? So is he not? He hasn't used PHP much. Then it sounds like. So
no, not since the era that
the old
I talked
days.
about.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it was really cool because he started the video and he's like, I feel like he's talking exactly about me. I came up on PHP and then I've never used it. And so there were some things that he genuinely liked. So I'm really happy about how that went.
So what's the next video in this series?
Yeah, so I've got a few that I'm thinking of, and I think there are. I get a lot of the ideas for what's next from the comments on these videos, and I have a bunch of my own ideas, but it is nice to see what are people continually surfacing. And so I think a few that I have in mind is I want to do for the super type heavy people, I want to do generics in PHP. I got to learn how to even do that. But I do want to show that we have further typing than is available in the language itself. Basically, and you always have to think of what's the angle? And I think the angle here is TypeScript for PHP almost, because it's we're using PHP, but we're putting this layer on top, and in the same way that you're using JavaScript and you're putting a layer on top. So I got to figure out the catchy angle there. And then I want to do a Laravel is faster than Next.js video.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
I know, spicy.
That's a
right?
good one. Yeah, that's
so
a spicy one.
I got to figure out. I'm having Steve King on Twitter. Steve McDougal, I think is his name, but his handle's just Steve King. He's going to help me set up a Docker container. I don't know anything about Docker. He's going to help me set up a Docker container that has a Next.js app and a Laravel app with Octane, and I'm going to load test and see if the Laravel one is faster. I super hope that it is, because that would be an amazing video that would make a lot of Next fans really mad and a lot of Laravel people really happy. And then the last one I have on, actually two more. I've got Livewire SPA mode. So like I want to show that you can create a single page app with just PHP. Obviously, it's Livewire JavaScript, but you know, the angle is SPA with PHP. Yep. And then I'm having Boris Lepkin help me set up a repo where I can do end-to-end strict typing with Laravel, Inertia, and Vue. And I can have all of that like TypeScript all the way through, because people are always like, well, I'd never switch to PHP because I love end-to-end type safety. I'm like, one, that's a red herring. That's dumb. That's a bad reason to stay with JavaScript on the back end. And two, you can have that in Laravel. So those are my videos. I got to think of catchy angles and spicy titles and stuff.
It. I really like the Livewire one too, because I feel like Livewire's part of it is it's like a pretty complicated thing to explain, you know, because it's like this. It's just not like anything else, you know? It's like, it's not like React. It's not like Vue. Like, it does what they do in the end, but it's nothing like them in how you use it. So, like, I do feel like it's just any kind of exposure or ways to, like, get people to understand how valuable it is and how faster it can make you. Yeah. Once you really kind of understand what it's trying to do. Would be really great. So again, reach that other audience that's not in the super core, that's like, oh yeah, we know already about livewire.laravel.com and it's up there in version 3 and blah blah, like and I think too, it's kind of become, I feel like version 3 is like, it's ready for prime time now, so it'd be great to see more people making videos and all that stuff about it too, just because it's kind of matured to this level where it's really ready to take on, you know, serious work, quote unquote.
Yeah, and I think with the version 3 release, they did a lot of stuff that makes it more usable. Like this whole SPA mode thing is really cool. And Jason Beggs did a tutorial / demo for Laravel News, showing like a podcast player. And I think the whole shtick is like it keeps playing even when you switch pages, which is like the hallmark of a SPA thing. SPA demo, and so I may just use that as my example, because I feel like even in Livewire land, like you've got Hotwire, you've got Stimulus, you've got Phoenix Live View, you've got HTMX. All of those are kind of like HTML over the wire DOM diffing, but I think Livewire is even, I would say, better, but definitely different than all of those in that, one, PHP dies. Like you have to build the whole universe on every request, and so like with Ruby, you've got this server that's continually running. And are you keeping state around back there? I don't super know. But with Livewire, it's like, no, we got to send everything back and forth all the time. And one of the complaints about Livewire on the video that I did was like, oh, so how many connections do you have to keep open all the time to send the data back and forth? And you're like, none. You don't leave stuff open with PHP. Everything dies, and you recreate the universe every time. Yeah. So I do think there's a fundamental like disparity between what people think is happening and what is actually happening.
Right, and just that's even like it's PHP's way of doing it has become more and more viable over time, right? It's like, oh, that was kind of a stupid way to do it. Maybe you can make the case way back in the day because like the computers weren't that fast and the network wasn't that fast, and like you're sending stuff back and forth, and you're setting up the whole world every time and everything. But now it's like everything's so fast. It's like, and it's great. I can just reset it up every time, and that does solve a lot of, it creates other problems, but it does solve a nice set of problems too. And how Livewire does all that stuff. I mean, the stuff Livewire does to make this all work is sort of nuts. But it's so nice to rebuild everything. So now it's like really, because when you first build something the first time, you don't really understand what it's even going to be. And to rebuild it with that understanding, I think, has made a ton of really huge improvements in how it all works.
And on that PHP lifecycle model, we got really lucky that PHP is basically tailor-made for serverless environments, because it's like it runs one thing stateless and then it dies.
Right.
And
It's perfect. Oh,
you're describing PHP.
Yeah. Yep. It was a big change. I started in Cold Fusion, and Cold Fusion had a server which so you could store state in there and other stuff. You could do all kinds of things. And then I started doing some PHP, and I was like, oh, like this doesn't do anything at all for me. And then also it was like pre-frameworks, essentially. There was a couple like very rudimentary frameworks. And so it was like, there's nothing at all here, but okay, we'll do this. And but now it's obviously with Laravel and just the whole state of everything that's going on with servers. It's so much nicer. And yes, the hosting situation and serverless and all the options we have now just changes all that a lot. But yeah, and even in Livewire, like what he's done in version 3, where it's like bundling requests and things like that. So like even wire concerns that, you weren't holding them open, but it was having to call back and forth a lot if you had a bunch of components and things. Like now it's just all bundled together, so that's all way more efficient. And yeah, it's really pretty advanced now.
Yeah. Good job, Caleb. Way to go.
Yeah. Love Caleb. He's the man.
Well, we've been mostly technical. Do you want to go back to non-technical for a second?
Sure.
We give the technical people a break. Are you hiring someone to create family photo books?
Oh, family photo books. Yes. So this is
So I saw this on Twitter and I thought Ian is a galaxy brain. Like I knew you were like a planet brain, but this is galaxy brain.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I used to be super into photography, and I'm dialed it back a little bit here, especially as the kids have gotten older and they're just like, get that camera out of my face, but whatever. When they're little, like it's awesome. Like, so I'd always have the fancy camera. I'm taking pictures of the kids, and then I was taking pictures of just other sorts of things, nature and whatnot. And then, so I'd always make these photo books. Like I'd have all these photos. I'd spend the time. I'd get them all edited, all nice, and make books and blah, blah. But then just recently, kids are bigger, like we talked about at the beginning. Like it's just like they have so much stuff going on. They're running around all the time. Work's busy, doing podcasts, like all this stuff. There's just not time to make photo books. And like, it's kind of funny. So we did this, the vacation I'm on right now with the people I'm on right now. We did this a year ago to a different place. And I was like, all right, I'll make the photo book. And I did not. I still have not done the photo book. The photo book is not done from a year ago.
You never volunteer. You never volunteer for that kind of stuff.
So now we're on the second vacation. I still haven't done the photo book from the first vacation. And so I have other trips and things I would want to do little books for. I just have this huge backlog of photo books. So yeah, it just struck me one day, like a week or two back there, and I was like, I could outsource the creation of these photo books. Like I'm not doing anything, especially because these are not like at this point more like artistic photos where I felt like back in the day I was more like creating the art. Like I might have a black and white photo of a certain scene and like I want it to be a certain way. This is like me on my iPhone snapping pictures, like just pick the smiliest one and edit it up to fit in the right box in the page and throw that stuff together and make me a photo book. So it seems like pretty much anybody could handle this, like without, and it'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. It'll be a nice little photo book to have on the shelf. And the kids always love the photo books. Like we have this big pile of photo books from all of our trips, and they go through them and whatever. So that's my plan. Like I don't know. I did a little bit of research.
So you said it sounds like anybody can do it. Has anybody been able to do it?
Nobody's done it yet. So I've
Where are you looking?
I don't know. Since that tweet where I said that, I have not really had time to then delve too much farther. I went into Upwork. There are people who sort of claim to do it, but then it's a little bit not clear what they actually are providing. There's some who are doing it like only for weddings, which is not really the right thing because they're going to want to charge a ton of money and do like a fancy book, which is not what this is. So if anybody out there knows of either a service that does this or even just like photo editing services or things like that, because obviously there's like Upwork, but I didn't
or
love
like
the
or like
options
a
there.
stay-at-home parent who knows how to use a computer.
That would be
That's
fine,
basically
too.
what
Like,
you need.
If you're out there and just want to do this for me, like, I'm also totally fine with that. Like, we can.
Yeah, is your husband or wife a functioning adult and can use a computer
and wants to do this?
contact
Yeah.
Ian.
I mean, that's totally. I'm totally on board with that. Maybe this is the SaaS we should be building. Maybe that's what'll come out of this podcast. We'll build the photo book creation service SaaS app. But
yeah, we could make tens of dollars that way, I think.
yeah. But it's like, if it was just like a site, and I don't want to build this, but if it was just like a service that did this, that's like $100 a book, like they would just already have like 3 books for me, like just done.
Yep.
Even 150
I
bucks
agree.
a book, like whatever. Like
I
would just pay the money. I don't want to think about it. I want to upload my 1,000 pictures from my trip to Europe and my 200 pictures from the last, vacation we all had. And I just want to pay somebody $100, $200 even, and just be like, oh, and a book shows up on my doorstep and it's done. It's great. So yeah, if anybody knows about that service already existing or wants to do it, let me know. And then we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, I do plan after vacation on getting, on making that happen. And now, since it's in the podcast, it's going to have to happen. So at least we will try it. We will have results. We could,
if you're listening to this, and it's August of 2024, make sure you send us an email to see if Ian ever got his vacation book made. So check in with us in 1 year to make sure Ian got his book made.
August 2025, we'll be doing this podcast. I'll be like, I'm on vacation with everybody again. Now I'm 2 vacation books behind.
Yeah. So I hired somebody a while back to do 3D rendering of. I was gonna add a back deck to connect the shed quarters, my old studio, to my house, and there's this giant gap in the middle. And I hired somebody on, I think it was Upwork. No, I think it was Fiverr actually. I took a bunch of pictures, did a few dimensions, and hired like an outdoor deck designer in Turkey to do 3D renderings of what a deck could look like. Yeah. And it was like $65.
Wow.
And so then, like, was it perfect? No, but I could then go to like a local contractor, and instead of like trying to explain something to someone who's barely listening to me, I could show him a picture and be like, I basically want
build
this. Yeah. And he's like, okay, I could build that. And I thought, that's a totally good use of money to spend $65 to be able to communicate clearly what I want. And I went back and forth with the guy in a few revisions, because on the first one he did some weird stuff with pergolas, and I was like, I don't want that. Like, remove that, change this. And then I had the thing to show the guy. And so finding these things that you can outsource that you don't really think you can
outsourcing.
Yeah.
I got to get better about that. I'm really pretty bad about outsourcing stuff like that. And it's like, I should just outsource this. Why am I not outsourcing more stuff? It's like, we actually found this service here kind of along those lines where it's like, they will come and set up. So you can't leave like a tent or anything on the beach overnight.
Yeah.
And there's like 13 of us and whatever, and the kids and whatever, son and all that stuff. So we kind of want a tent. So they just come every day, and they set up the tent, and they bring chairs, and they put it out there. And then every night they come, and they take down the tent, and they take away the chairs. And they just do it every night. And it's fabulous. And that also led me to the discovery of another app, which I'm just going to tell everybody about as a public service, called Splitwise. Have you ever used Splitwise?
Live and die by Splitwise.
You love the Splitwise. I didn't even know about Splitwise.
Love
it's unbelievable.
Splitwise.
Everything
I've been using Splitwise since 2009. It's amazing.
Wow, is it around that long? I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Wow. So maybe everybody knows about this already, but Splitwise lets you just split bills with other people, and like, so you can just, every time you buy something, you throw it in Splitwise, and it'll handle like in our case, we're pretty much dividing everything by thirds. Just divides it by thirds, and then at the end it tracks who owes who what, and you can settle up, and that's it. And it's unbelievable. This is like one of the first mobile apps that's blown my mind in a while.
We gotta talk Splitwise. So Splitwise is truly one of like the OG apps that does the thing it's supposed to do and doesn't muck it up. And so what I love about Splitwise, so we do these yearly trips, all of our guy friends from college, and what I love about Splitwise is as long as you accurately represent the truth in Splitwise, everything comes out just fine. So what I mean is you can say like, okay, Aaron, I'm going to the grocery store for, these 10 guys for the weekend, and I'm going to spend, $1,000 to buy all the groceries for this weekend, right? I put $1,000 into Splitwise and I say split evenly, and it just it splits it evenly. Okay, whatever. That seems normal, right? But then let's say I get there early and I go to dinner with 4 other guys and we go out for pizza, right? And one guy pays for all the pizza. And he says, okay, let's say Andrew paid for all the pizza, but only these 5 people were there. So I'm going to split it between these 5 people. And then let's say there are, 3 people on the trip that don't drink. So we split the alcohol between 7 people. And then let's say I buy Ian lunch. So it's just like a one-on-one transaction. As long as you put all of that into Splitwise and you say there's a tab to say simplify debt. So like if I owe Ian $5 and Ian owes Andrew $5, I'm just going to pay Andrew. And Splitwise will handle that for you. At the end, it just comes out to be like, you put everything in there and it just says, Aaron, you owe Andrew $42. And you're like, all right, sounds fine to me. And it takes into account everything you paid for, everything you participated in, and like it doesn't add you to things that you weren't a part of. And at the end, you pay one single person and then you move on about your day. It's the best thing in the world.
Totally mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. It's so good. Yes, you said it perfectly. Like, it doesn't muck it up. It's like it does this. It's not trying to sell me a bunch of other stuff while I'm in there adding, these entries. It's just like, nope, add your entries. At the top, it's got like this running total. It's like, you've loaned out $1,000 so far. And it's like, yes, I'm making money on this vacation. People are going to pay me $1,000 at the end of this vacation. It's so great. Everything costs a third less.
That's great, because then you're at the next dinner and you can be like, well, it looks like I'm $1,000 behind, so somebody else should pay for dinner. So then at the end of the trip, you're as close to even as possible, and so your person-to-person transactions are a lot smaller. Yeah, it's man, what an unexpected surprise to talk about Splitwise.
Oh, it's so good. Just to have a unitasker app like that just is executed so perfectly. That's something I never built either. I always have these like big complicated things.
I know.
Just a nice unitasker app. It's just down in the little nitty gritty details of that single task so deeply. Oh, just excellent.
I'm pulling up my Splitwise right now so I can see all the groups that I have.
Oh wow, you have a bunch of different groups. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, I've got I don't know if the camera will pick it up.
Yeah, OG.
So we've got SF 15, 16, 17. Those are all the guy trips, and then we've got a Florida trip. We've got a 30th birthday trip. We've got a wedding weekend. Yeah, I love it.
It's a revolution.
So
my mind has been totally blown. None of us in our group really knew about it until my cousin went to a bachelor party like 6 months ago or something. And they just did it where the one guy paid for everything. Nobody paid for anything. The leader paid for every single transaction. He got all the points, which I think was probably part of his goal, which is great.
That guy,
and then,
that freaking
guy. and then they just split it up, and they just all paid him the amounts they owed, and that was it. It was so easy. So then we use it for this, and we're all blown away. It's
and
so
you can
attach
pictures
nice.
of a receipt.
Yeah,
and
we're not doing that because we don't care. But you could do that if it's a bigger group or whatever.
Yeah, and you can do crazy splitting things like. You can split it evenly. You can split it by percent. You can split it by portion. So you can be like, we bought 15 things, and actually 5 of the things were for this one guy, and the other 10 were for the other 10 people. And you can say this guy gets 5 units of proportion, and everyone else gets 1 unit. It's like, why would you ever need that? I have no idea, but it's so cool.
I have used one so far. We've been doing pretty much everything evenly, but there has been one where it's like, me and my brother just did something. My cousin's family wasn't involved. So it's like, that is just me and him. And it's like, now it's split in half between the two of us and not with him in it. And it's like the tally all changes and just blown away. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like most of the hype around mobile apps in general, like my mobile app usage is almost entirely like native Apple apps and Twitter and maybe like 1 or 2 other things. And that's it. And but this is one of those ones that's like, yes, this is making it in. This is staying on the phone because it's just so damn useful in those couple times a year where you need to to do this kind of thing.
God, what a gem.
So good. Yeah, look at that.
Hidden gem there at the end of the pod. That's why you always stick around, folks.
Think about this. On this one trip, Waffle House and Splitwise, I've discovered these two things.
Your life is, and I discovered trucks. You can just put a truck on a beach.
Truck on a
amazing.
Beach. We're learning.
Yes, this is why we do this.
Sharing our knowledge.
That's right. All right. Anything else? Where do people find us?
Oh man, they find us at mostlytechnical.com and on YouTube. Check out the YouTube. The YouTube it's like it's building up. I'm sort of interested about the YouTube growth eventually. It's nice to be able to see how many subscribers you have because podcasts,
Yeah,
you can't really tell for sure. But and then we're at Mostly Technical Pod on Twitter, I believe. So check that out. We should probably get these things
If
out.
you can find us, find us. If not, we'll see you
it's
next
all linked.
time.
Go to the show notes. Thanks.
All right. Talk to you later, Ian.
Bye.